said it didn't happen, even when the footage showed it. They said you misunderstood, even when you quoted them word for word, for word. They said you were unstable, even when the system was falling apart. This isn't confusion, it's strategy. Gaslighting, the government's favorite tool. But every time they lie, another camera rolls. Every time they deny, another file uploads. Truth is the new rebellion, and we're filming it in real time. This is the Gaslight Anthem. It's the Gaslight Anthem. They said it didn't happen, even when the footage showed it. They said you misunderstood, even when you quoted them word for word, the word for word, the word. They said you were unstable, even when the system was falling apart. This isn't confusion, it's strategy. Gaslighting, the government's favorite tool. But every time they lie, another camera rolls. Every time they deny, another file uploads. Truth is the new rebellion, and we're filming it in real time. This is the Gaslight Anthem. It's the Gaslight Anthem. It's the Gaslight Anthem. It's the Gaslight Anthem. Gaslighting, the government's favorite tool. But every time they lie, another camera rolls. Every time they deny, another file uploads. Truth is the new rebellion, and we're filming it in real time. This is the Gaslight Anthem. It's the Gaslight Anthem. This is the Gaslight Anthem. It's the Gaslight Anthem.
Welcome to We the People News, where we don't just expose corruption, we narrate it, dissect it, and hang its jersey in the Hall of Shame. I'm Don Matthews, and today we're cracking open the government's go-to psychological Swiss Army knife, gaslighting. The art of telling you what you saw, heard, or recorded on 6 different angles of HD footage never happened, that you imagined it, that you're confused, that maybe you're the problem, maybe you're just tired, maybe you just need help, maybe, just maybe, you should stop asking so many questions. But here's the irony, and it's so rich, it should be taxed separately. The more they gaslight, the more people pull out their phones, dash cams, body cams, doorbell cams. It's like watching a magician shout, "Nothing to see here," while the entire front row uploads his trick in 4K slow motion to YouTube. And now, the latest installment of this grand American pastime takes us to Morgan County, Utah, where public records vanish, intimidation runs wild, and officers forgot the camera is still rolling. This isn't a rare event. This is the norm. Gaslighting is now as routine as tying your shoes, only less helpful and far more insulting to your intelligence. So buckle in, grab your popcorn, and let's take a ride through the funhouse mirror of government accountability, where up is down, truth is fiction, and the camera never lies, even when they do.
Anyway, there's those things that I outlined in the statute.
Why he's sitting here?
Yeah. Well, so you've made some people uncomfortable in the building. And
I've been a journalist. I came in here to file court documents, and that's literally it.
Right, but you gave a false name.
No, that's not the case at all. I can tell you right now, if we're going to go down this road,
We can go down that road.
The
but what
name Don Matthews. It's I mean, I have every lawful reason to use a pseudonym, to use an alias, and it's because of what
Not
happened.
on a government document with a request.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that right now. I've read the statute. I went
All
back
right,
through it.
let me ask you this, okay? Show me a signature on there.
I don't see a signature.
Because there's no signature line.
Right.
There's no signature line. You have to, so I didn't sign my name. I simply put the requester's information is Don Matthews.
Right.
That is my alias name. You're
And that's fine.
you're trying to walk me. See, this is retaliation right here. I come in here to file a lawsuit, and
I came here because I said I'm a notary and I can help you. I didn't realize it was a lawsuit.
okay,
but
and then
we
you
can
bring
still-
law enforcement over here, and you start talking about me using my pseudonym name, my alias name, and you're talking about criminal charges, and this is straight up harassment and
I
intimidation.
didn't bring law enforcement over here. They came. There's been
But we had
unease within the building.
no issues. We were sitting here having a cordial conversation about this
I
lawsuit.
completely
And
agree.
then this right here is intimidation.
Matthew, let me ask you. So, do you feel that you haven't raised your voice at anyone else in the building?
No. I wanted to know what that woman's name down. Do you want to look at the videos? In fact, they're on my YouTube channel.
Well, I know.
Show me one thing. I have the right to redress my government.
I agree with
And in
that.
fact, if I want to say fuck every single person in here, I can say that because that's
Yep.
my right under the First Amendment. But I have not
agree.
gotten anything out really. The videos are public, okay?
I get
so
it.
you can't say that I've said anything, I've done anything wrong.
Well, except
Other-
filing a grammar request
Except file. You
that
know how
requires your name.
I do it everywhere because I've gotten
that's-
doxxed, okay?
Well, and that's fine for you
Because
too.
I have the right under the First Amendment to request records with some anonymity because of
No,
me
you
being
don't.
gaslighted.
You don't
Okay.
have a right to do it under
Show
anonymity.
me where on this paper where it's actually put to where anybody can actually know when they fill out a request that they can't use a pseudonym or an alias.
I'm not saying it's on there.
Okay.
But the statute itself
Well,
says it.
but you know what? You
and-
cannot criminalize something that the public is not made aware of. You can't-
Ignorance of
if
the
it's-
law is not a defense. You know that as well as anyone.
Okay, and
And so
a pseudonym.
the-
see,
the
we're
grammar
both.
statute
but we're
says
both,
what it says.
But we're both at a standstill here because I'm telling you that a pseudonym, an alias, is there's nothing illegal about it, and especially being a journalist, and especially being an author, especially being doxxed, especially being wrapped up in federal civil rights litigation right now against two different jurisdictions, two different municipalities that decided they were going to take my information and dox it out. Please tell me how that's justifiable.
And I'm not saying it's justifiable, but we are at a standstill. That's the one thing I
Well,
agree with you, because I don't
okay.
know all the history of the other things. But
Hey.
what we agree on,
So
Here.
they're talking about charges here, and you got law enforcement that comes and sits down at the table and puts the body cam right there. Share
So-
this out.
okay, so what I agree with you is that we see the statute differently. That's the purpose of the Grammar
Well, we
Appeals
clearly
Board.
see the
right?
statute differently on the grandma as far as everything with all of that. And now we're going to look at aliases, and you're going to try to actually come over here and intimidate me with law enforcement.
I'm okay if you guys go. Like, I'm not trying to intimidate you.
Take a hike.
Well, I mean, they'll go if they want to go.
Well, then I'll go also. If that's going to
And
be
you
the
can
case,
go too. I'm just
if that's going
saying-
to be the case, then y'all successfully intimidated me away from here, and that's going to make for a great story.
But Matthew, I'm not intimidating you away.
Well,
I'm
then
just
these
telling
people need to take a hike.
they don't need to, but
Yes,
they can
we're
choose
talking-
to,
we're
just
talking
like you
about-
can
we're
choose
talking
to as
about-
well.
We're talking about legal shit that has nothing to do with law
What
enforcement.
I'm telling
they
you
need to take a hike.
is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you're free to be here, they're free to be here. I've told them I don't need them to be here, and they can go.
I'll let you guys
But
talk.
you can't tell them to. You can't order them to leave. It's a public space.
Okay, well, and I
So
can just
just-
as easily get up and walk the fuck out.
And you could, and I'm not going to stop you from doing that either. But I willingly came to chat with you. Is
Okay,
that
and
is
then
that true?
And then you brought some law enforcement goons with you.
I didn't bring them with me. They came out. They came out, and I appreciate them coming just to check up on me.
Yeah, because I'm such a dangerous person. Is that why the last time when I came in here to see you, I had no issues with anybody? I was down there talking to the records clerk, who was extremely rude, by the way, and then I walked down there to see you, and you got a pistol on your hip. How often do you wear a pistol on your hip?
Every day.
Or was that okay.
Every day. I've been here 4 years about. I wear it every day.
All right. Well,
So
I thought about that after I left, and I was like, well, was he trying to actually, because y'all?
I'm a
given me the
Second Amendment
Stonewall,
loving
y'all
guy.
lit- I
mean,
am too.
Okay,
I am too.
yeah. And I'm a First Amendment loving guy too. That's why I'm talking to you.
You trying to have me set up?
For what?
I mean, like why you brought them over here, and then you start talking about me using a alias, me using a freaking pseudonym name, which
I'll respect your
every-
privacy. Do you want to put the next part on camera or do you want to pause it? And I'll tell you exactly why people feel uncomfortable.
No, put the next part on camera. Yeah,
Okay.
Everything's public record, man. Everything's public record.
but now that your name's out there, people can Google you, right? And I don't know if you want me to say, well, here's what I found Googling. And
Go ahead.
We're just trying to secure the building and make sure we're okay.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But
So-
that has nothing to do.
So you actually, you want to believe the fake news and actually think, I would love for somebody to actually show one single shred of evidence of where I've ever been a threat, where I've ever, like people can say, where's the proof? It's all a bunch of lies. This thing was political. That's why I'm publishing this book. That's why I have a book coming out. It's an expose. Hey, Sheriff, I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
Deputy Green. So that's what this is kind of all about. Was so he back in, I think it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken, he resigned in a cloud of I can't remember how the newspaper or how the news company worded it, but for falsifying reports, in particular DWIs. Were you aware of that?
I know there was some mishaps back in the day, but we haven't had any issues with him since, and everybody makes a mistake. We're all human.
Dude, you know what? I sure wish somebody would say that about me, but I steadily get persecuted for false things, just like the county attorney just said. He took a bunch of falsehoods that Lafayette County, that Mississippi has put out, and figured I was a danger. I've never threatened anybody. My entire, I've never once. I'm a patriot. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I've never threatened any physical harm. I appreciate it. And it sucks because a wrecking ball got taken to my life. I went from having every opportunity to I can't even get hired now because of one thing after the other that these people have done. And so everybody deserves a second chance, but where's mine?
I agree.
It's like, especially when all I've wanted was a day in court to show that, I was completely denied due process. All this stuff was fabricated, but they wanted it was just one thing after another, and it's just not fair, man. My private information got doxed out to 139 law enforcement officers, false information in my home address a few days after I moved down here to Layton because I got a book that's about to publish.
Whatever your issue was or is,
I know.
nothing happened here.
But things have happened here, Morgan. The other day, I was trying to get your records clerk's name over there. That wasn't Kylie. It was the other lady. And I was told to wait right here. And I guess somebody got the biggest sheriff deputy that you have that came down here and literally bullied me out the door. I just told him.
I'll be honest with you. That's why I'm here today, is because you had scared some people in the office the other day.
I didn't do,
So I ended up doing yard work, and then I got called and says, hey, the cameraman's back. So that's why I'm here.
But
Make
see,
sure everything goes good.
right. But see, if you look at the videos,
I didn't scare anybody. Like, that's the thing. That's ridiculous to say that. Who's saying that I scared people? Because they need a serious wake-up call if they're actually saying that I scared people.
Well,
I
I'll tell
haven't.
you this. I've been trying to get a lock on that door down there for the last year, and because of your actions last week, I finally got it. So I appreciate it.
Wait, but what did I do last week?
You pounded on the door. You tried to open the door with her in there.
Okay, because she
And she
slammed
was there
it.
by herself
Because
and you scared her.
because she slammed the door in my face because she didn't want to answer because she could say what she wanted, you know, and then as soon as I responded, she slams the door and wouldn't even give me her name. I have the right to find this information out.
Everything I do, we're always.
I'm asking for a little bit of transparency, you know, and I don't think that's asking too much.
Yeah, we're giving you every opportunity to do what you need to do. So.
Right, and I haven't done anything. I mean, please show me on that video because I mean everything that I do is public record. You know, I don't hide anything. I really don't.
Hello. I'm looking for Kylie.
Kylie, she's gone home for the day.
She has? Okay. Well, so I'm trying to find out the answers to some questions.
Okay.
Maybe you can. I have a feeling that she was the one that arbitrarily denied my grammar request. And I wanted to find out if it was a decision that she made or if it was a decision that Matt Wilson made on the grammar.
On an initial, that'll go through the records clerks, but if you appeal, then it goes to the commission.
Right, so it was her decision to deny it.
Off of state statute, then
Well,
we can deny them. Yes.
Yeah. So here's the issue now.
Are you filming now?
I am.
Okay, can we step outside? There's just, like, there's personal information in here. If you're okay with that.
Oh yes, that's. So yeah, I spoke with Matt on the phone earlier. As I told Garrett yesterday, this is something that I draw a hard limit in the sand on as far as giving my physical address out, because I've actually gotten doxxed by 2 different cities. My private information, my address sent out to 139 law enforcement officers with false information. So it's, long story short, I'm a journalist. I'm an author. I've been retaliated against and doxxed, been gaslighted. Doxxed meaning basically throwing personal information out there to people that don't need to have it, is basically what doxed is.
Yeah, if a law enforcement officer did that, that's,
It's, but they have to have probable cause to actually do it. There's not, I mean, so you think that just because they're a law enforcement officer, just because they have a badge and a uniform, that means that they can take somebody's personal private information
they cannot do that. So
but that's
not what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying happened with me, and so that's why I'm saying
that might have happened with you, but they handle people's personal information all the time, so they're not supposed to disseminate that.
Well, but what I'm saying is it's actually an active case right now, so it's backed up by evidence. So it's not like it's something that I'm saying just I'm throwing out there as a conspiracy theory. No, this legitimately happened, and because it happened, I don't take any chances in it. And
I can understand that.
But I told Matt earlier, I would be willing to give my post office box address. And he said that post office boxes don't count. I looked up the statute. In fact,
the statute says mailing address.
Mailing address.
And I tried to tell him that. He said that basically that I told him he needs to, this is his job. Basically, he's trying to outsource it to Garrett, and say that it's on him. These are stall tactics. I need this information. I'm a member of
What was your name?
Don Matthews.
Okay.
I'm a member of the press. I've We the People News, and I need these records. And so also the issue was arbitrarily and capriciously, I guess Kylie denied my fee waiver. Now, the state of Utah actively promotes members of the press, of the media, when it comes to information that would benefit the public through dissemination, transparency. That's where that fee applies, and that's exactly what I applied for. These records don't they don't help me personally. This is a matter of free press, okay, and that's why I requested that fee waiver, but without any questions asked or anything looking into it, she just immediately marked denied, and that's. I mean, honestly, that's a violation of my rights right there. I can easily prove that this is for dissemination of the public.
If it's a certain case you're referring to, that's depends on what. It's your opinion if you view it this way. It may be another person's opinion if they view it another way.
But she didn't deny me for that. I was simply denied because I didn't put an address in. And I was even told when I filled out the form that an email address alone would be fine.
It's not under state statute. It specifically says that, and I believe you were sent that. You have to provide a mailing address.
And that's fine. I'll provide my post office box address, but I would just like to get my public records. I feel like, the county, honestly, I feel like from the pushback I've gotten that there's something in those records that the county doesn't want. That's why they're pushing back so hard, and that makes me want them, that much more.
That's totally your opinion.
Well, then all it takes is just getting me the records.
If you go through the proper chain, and you can take it up with the records board if it's not something that you agree with.
But I don't. But see, if I give you an address, then there's no reason for it to go to the records board. What that means is that's an intentional delay tactic.
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
So
there's a lot of interpretations to the state statutes and laws, and that's what the records board is there for.
But
so you
right,
can certainly utilize them. That is your right.
The only reason why I was denied was because of an address. So if I'm providing an address, then what's the reason of denial?
Have you sent in another request with your mailing address?
No, I came up here to update it onto that one. It shouldn't have to start the time over. This is what I'm saying. I sure hope I can see Garrett while I'm here. I've actually, just in anticipation of all this, I've already got a lawsuit prepped up to challenge this, and I've got all the standing in the world for it.
Do you have an attorney?
No, I'm actually I've represented myself in 11 different courts. Trust me, when you see the complaint, it's you're not going to know the difference from an attorney, drafting it to me. I've got 9 years of law experience under my belt.
Okay, so the statutes that are listed, then if you want to put in a request with your mailing address, that's a good start.
Well, but that's the sole reason it was denied. So I'm saying, let me just update it right here instead of having to fill out a whole nother request, because you'll have my request. Let me just give you my post office box address.
You can fill out another form if you'd like.
No, I can't. Well, do you want to? Well, how about you fill it out for me then? Take the other one and then you write it all out for me again.
No, you can do it.
No, that's not going to happen.
Okay, no, I'm not going to do that for you.
Well, you're absolutely ridiculous. See, these are tactics that y'all are using.
No, it's not a tactic, you're putting things into. You're trying to twist this around, and you're probably going to alter this video.
No, actually, no. I always upload my videos the way that they are. So just like that right there, you just made yourself look horrible again. Okay, just remember, anything that you say or do can and will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. So
I am aware of that. Okay, so if you're welcome to fill out another request with your mailing address, as it says in state statute, or you don't have to do that. That's up to you.
So y'all are literally just trying to find
I am not-
anything. You're trying.
No,
That's
no,
you're trying to find
that's your
any
opinion.
reason.
I'm not going to have any more
But-
of this conversation.
Well, you are
with
going to have this conversation
No,
with me
I
because
am
you're
not.
trying to find any
Okay.
You
reason.
need to go call Todd right now, he says.
Okay,
So,
okay.
You're trying to find any reason not to comply with a lawful request is what you're trying to do. What's your name? Hey, what's your name? What's your name? I've got a message for the Oxford, Mississippi Police Department, especially Captain Hilden Sessoms. I see you. I see your little email. I see how you illegally pulled my brand new Utah address 4 days after I moved, before I signed a lease, before I updated a damn thing, and blasted it across state lines like a petty stalker with a badge. That wasn't law enforcement. That was a coward's move, surveillance, slander, and taxpayer-funded retaliation. Because I recorded outside of a bank from a sidewalk in Utah? Because I've called your department out many times for its corrupt leadership and tactics? My God, you low-life scum of the earth maggots are pathetic. But here's the kicker. I know you're watching my YouTube and my social media. Or someone from your department is. It's good. You should be for this. You should watch this very, very closely. Because everything I post from here forward will be public record, admissible evidence, and a goddamn masterclass in how a constitutional rights activist dismantles corruption with nothing but truth, law, and a righteous middle finger. You declared war on the First Amendment, and now you've got a front row seat to your own exposure. You've had quite a few things to say about me in your gaslighting rant. So I'm going to give you a list of 20 things I have to say about you. Number 1, you don't serve the public. You serve your own fucking ego. Number 2, you wear a badge like it's a shield, but it's really just a mask for a coward. Number 3, you're not law enforcement. You're a taxpayer-funded thug with a pension plan. Number 4, you took an oath and wiped your ass with it. Number 5, you're not protecting shit. You're just policing your paranoia. Number 6, every time you speak, the Constitution rolls over in its grave. Number 7, you've got more dirt under that badge than a graveyard. Number 8, you don't enforce laws. You weaponize them against people who call you out. Number 9, you're not a captain. You're just the head rat in a sinking department. Number 10, you're the kind of cop that makes kids afraid to call for help. Number 11, you use public safety like a fucking excuse to play God. Number 12, you're a disgrace to every good cop who actually earned the public's trust. Number 13, if corruption were a sport, you'd have a fucking trophy case.
Number 14, you couldn't uphold the law if it was printed on your morning donut box. Number 15, you treat accountability like it's a foreign language, and motherfucker, I'm fluent. Number 16, the only thing you've protected is your own ass, and even that won't last long. Number 17, you didn't graduate from the FBI Academy. You dropped out of integrity school. Number 18, if you spent half as much time protecting rights as you do covering your lies, you'd be a fucking hero. Number 19, you're not under fire for doing your job. You're under fire because you forgot what your fucking job is. Number 20, you swore an oath to the Constitution, but all you ever do is piss on it. Enjoy the show, Hilton. I'll make sure your name lives in infamy, you rotten fucking scumbag.
Red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due.
Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Down in Galveston, it started that night. Osteen and Doretti turned wrong into right. said I was drunk, claimed the smell in the air, but no alcohol touched me, their proof wasn't there. They locked me up 11 months in a cell, fabricated charges of personal hell. They twisted the law, made me a pawn, but their conspiracies unravel and it won't last long. A growing plot, their power abused, but I'm breaking the chains, their lies are diffused. The truth's on my side and it's ready to speak, exposing their game, bringing justice to the weak. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Extradited from Galveston back to Lafayette, 2 weeks before trial, the lies were set. Then Ben Creekmore played his false hand, fictitious evidence in his corrupt plan. Judge Tolleson fell for the charade they showed. 2 years in prison, down a dark road. Austin hit the stand, swore oath after oath, but his lies cracked under the weight of my growth. July 18th, they thought they'd won, but justice don't sleep, the truth has begun. Their house of cards is shaking, ready to fall. I'm standing tall, calling out them all. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control. Sentence vacated, exposing their soul. They built it on deceit, but the cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Candy Beavers, Hobie James played their dirty part, conspired with Galveston to tear me apart. Jeff Busby sent false statements to the district attorney, and when the heat came down, it was so concerning. A snake in the grass hiding behind his crew, but the truth reveals everything they do. Their lies run deep, but justice runs deeper. Each betrayal exposed, the climb's getting steeper. They thought they'd silence me, bury my voice, but now it's my time and I've made my choice to shine a light, make sure these criminals pay. Justice is coming and it's here to stay. I lost it all, but I've still got the fight. Damn right, the truth's a weapon cutting through the night. The sentence declared unlawful, the order vacated. I'm vindicated, liberated, and of course I'm elated. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control. Sentence vacated, exposing their soul. They built it on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Yeah, pour again. Damn right, the truth's a weapon, cutting through the night. The sentence declared unlawful, the order vacated. I'm vindicated.
Hey, let me get y'all's name and badge number, please.
I'm sorry, you can't record in here.
I know, I just need your name and badge numbers real quickly.
You can step out and we can come out there and tell you.
Yeah, that'll work. All right.
So I'm Sheriff Corey Stark.
You're the actual sheriff here?
Yeah.
Okay. And name and badge number?
Deputy Cy Martin.
Deputy Martin, and what's your badge number?
We don't have badge numbers.
I'm gonna say it on the record, preserve the body cam. I don't want to see the footage deleted. I'm gonna be requesting. In fact, I need to go get I need another grammar request form because I'm gonna get the body cam. I'm gonna get the body cam footage of what happened before you came walking up, and what happened, because that was very sketchy right there.
Ask you a